Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. I am doing a 24-hour readathon. I'm so excited. I am so excited. I'm doing it with my book club besties and I thought that I would vlog the whole sort of experience for you guys so that we could do this together. I have picked 5 books that I'm going to try and read in the readathon and we're going to do it a bit differently. So obviously life gets in the way. So I'm not going to be doing 24 hours straight. I'm just going to be doing timed 24 hours. So I'm going to put the 24-hour timer onto my iPad and I want to see how many books I can read in like a 24-hour period, even though it's not going to be completely straight because I need to sleep. Like I'm not going to be able to do that without sleeping. So I picked 5 books and they're all sort of like different because I didn't, like I'm a mood reader, we know this. So I wanted to pick like some different books so that we could try it out. So the first one that I've got is Before the Sunset by Laura Pavlov. This is a small town romance. I really want to finish the Cottonwood Cove series. And this is book 4. So that is the first book that I've got on my TBR. I'm sort of trying to pick only like physical books so that I can try and read my physical TBR. You guys know that I have physical TBR problems. But anyways, the next one that I have is Body Check by Elle Kennedy. And this is the one I'm going to start with. I've already started it and I think I'm about 20% in already, which is very exciting. The next one that I have is Highest Bidder by Sarah Kate. This is the 5th book in the Salacious Players Club series. And I'm really excited to read this one. Sarah Kate writes really bingeable books. So I think this is going to be a really good one to get into. She does Spicy Billionaire. So I'm very excited for that one. The next one that I've got is a thriller. So we've got Never Lie by Frida McFadden. I thought I'd add a thriller in this. You guys know I don't read a lot of thrillers, but I know that when I do read them, they're so easy to read and so quick to read. So I've got this one on there as well in case I'm in the mood for something a bit different, like in case the romance just gets a bit much. And the last one that I've got is The Wrong Heart by Jennifer Hartman. This is an emotional damage book. Apparently it's really suspenseful, like you just cannot put it down. My friend has told me that it was like just like the easiest book to binge. So I've got that on my TBR as well for this challenge. It's not very big. Like I haven't picked many big books because I obviously want to try and like read as much as I can in this period of time. So because I'm doing this with my book club, I'm actually going to jump on TikTok live and do my first little like stint on live, but I'm going to also film a little bit so that you guys can like see what I'm reading, see how much I've done. And I'm really excited. So I thought, let's just get this going. Let's start the timer and we can just like try and read as much as we can. I also had a thought that in the 24 hours, I'll probably read more than 5 books. I don't know. I've just picked 5 to start off with. And then if we like end up reading more in that period of time, then I'll tell you guys what I pick and what I've got on my TBR and everything like that. But I think that 5 is good enough for now because I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to overwhelm myself. So I'm going to jump on live and let's get into it. Update time. I read on sprints with you guys and I have 21 hours left. So you can see on the timer, we have 21 hours left and I have finished my first book. So I finished my first book after 2.5 hours and that was Body Check by Elle Kennedy. So this is her standalone book that she came out with when she was in her early 20s and she's rewritten it and re-released it and oh my god, it was so good. So her father owns the hockey club that he plays for. She despises hockey because it's always been the one thing that has taken her dad away from her. Her dad's always been so busy with it and now her dad is coming under all of this scrutiny and there's a lot of legal things going on with her dad. So she moves back to the city that he is in where his hockey team is and she's pretty much there to support him and help him. And then she decides that she wants to have a little bit of a one-night stand with anyone, right? With just anyone. She just needs that. She needs the thing, right? And she runs into none other than this hockey player, but she doesn't know that he's a hockey player at the time. She just thinks that he's just your average Joe, like your hot average Joe. And obviously they have their one night stand. She just wants it to be a one night stand. He wants it to be more. So it's he falls first and he falls harder. And we love that trope. So pretty much she is fighting him and just like is like, no, I don't want anything to do with you. But she secretly wants it again. She wants to have that night again. And we go through this whole like angst, this will they, won't they? And then they end up having a fling. So a friends with benefits situation. And obviously we all know friends with benefits never stays friends with benefits, right? Right. So that is Body Check by Elle Kennedy. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. I absolutely loved it. There is one scene, actually there are multiple scenes. They are spicy as hell. And Elle Kennedy just does such a good job of writing the spice. And sometimes if it was anyone else, I feel like I would have thought that it was too much spice and not enough plot. But she did such a good job in making it plot heavy as well. So it didn't feel like it was all spice. So I absolutely loved this one. 4.5 stars. It was the perfect way to start off the readathon. So that was 2.5 hours in. And obviously I have done another half hour of reading. Ended up starting Before the Sunset by Laura Pavlov. This is a small town romance. All I know so far is that it is an actor and his best friend. So he is an actor on this big like ranch TV show or something like that. And he has been best friends with Reese since they were pretty much kids. They've loved, you know, they have a very strong friendship and they've never really looked at each other in any way except for a friendship relationship. And we are seeing at the start of the book that her fiance, who she was on a break with, is now dating a new woman and she is distraught. She is seriously distraught and she is supposed to move back to this small town because they ended up going on a break because she wanted to go and live in London for a little bit and chase her dreams. So her and her fiance were on a break and now she's found out this piece of information when she's supposed to come home. So she decides she's not going home. She doesn't want to face it. She doesn't want to face this new relationship. And her best friend obviously comes and flies to London and he's like, you know what? You can't stay here. You're supposed to come home. We're supposed to have time together. And he brings her home. When he brings her home, they go into this little fake dating arrangement where essentially he will look better because he is in a committed relationship. The public are pretty much looking at him like a bit of a playboy, like he doesn't have any prospects romantically, and he needs someone to show the world that he is a relationship guy. So they're fake dating so that she can make her fiance jealous and he can look better to the public, which I'm really, really interested in. I am 67 pages in so far. I've read this much in the 30 minutes after finishing Body Check, and we have 21 hours to go. I know, 21 hours to go. I am actually going to have some dinner. I'm going to maybe see if I can get this on audio and see if I can maybe get another hour done. And then I'm probably going to try and jump back on live later because I feel like I got so much reading done and because I'd had no other choice, right? I had the timer going, I had my phone on live and I just was reading and loving it and enjoying it. So I'm going to go have some dins and we will see how we go with the audiobook. I will keep you guys updated, of course, and then I'll let you know how I go. Okay, so I'm absolutely dead, but I have just under 19 hours to go and I'm almost finished Before the Sunset. I have 30 minutes left in this book. I am at, let me tell you exactly the percent that I'm at. I'm at 86% and 30 minutes to go. And let me tell you, I'm fucking feral for this book. I am feral for these characters. I can't, like I actually can't. I haven't really updated you guys because I was on live, but I'll explain it a little bit more. So obviously they're doing the fake dating thing and I told you guys about that, and then they end up turning it into a friends with benefits situation. But obviously they're both really nervous because they don't want to mess up their friendship. They don't want to mess up their relationship. And obviously things start happening, right? Things start progressing. They're friends with benefits. They're doing the things that I can't explain to you. But there is this one quote that I have to. It doesn't spoil anything because you sort of already know the premise, but she says, "I was born to ride you, cowboy." Dead. Absolutely dead. I'm feral for them, seriously. Like, I can't. I'm eating this book up and I'm leaving absolutely no crumbs. This is such a good book to do in this readathon because I cannot stop. So I've got 30 minutes left, and that means that in like four and a half-ish hours, I will have read 2 books. So I'm going to finish reading that one with you guys now. I'm going to do a little bit more, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But yeah, let's finish this book off. Done. Oh my God. I love that book so much. 5 stars. Easy as 5 stars. So that is book 2. I had the best time in that book, and I have to pick my next book, I guess. I've picked my next book, and I'm going to start Highest Bidder by Sarah Kate. I'm going to start that one when I get into bed. I'm going to go and have a shower, and then I'm going to get into bed, and I'm going to put the timer on and hopefully stop it before I fall asleep. Hopefully. I probably won't read too much because I'm absolutely knackered, but I'm really excited, and I'm actually just having like the best time reading all of these books. This is such a fun little challenge, and I'm so happy that I could bring you guys along for the journey. So I'm going to have a shower and get into bed, and then I'm going to update you guys when I'm in bed, or even tomorrow. Good morning, my loves. I read a little bit last night, and by a little bit I mean I got to 17 hours left in the challenge, and I got halfway through Highest Bidder. So I ended up staying up till midnight last night to read this because it is so good. It is so easy to read and so bingeable. Essentially what it is it's like a silver fox age gap romance, right? So he's 55 and she's like 22 or something. He is one part owner of the Salacious Players Club, which is the series. They all follow all of the owners and people within. It's all interconnected. And he co-owns this club, and she is actually a waitress at the club. So it is a schmink club. I'm not going to say the real word because I don't want to get in trouble. So essentially, she works at this club as a waitress, and she loses a bet with one of her friends where she has to go up and auction herself at this auction night, and he is not interested in anyone except he bids on her, and he is the highest bidder, hence the name of the book. So we find out a lot of like backstory about these two. There's a bit extra going on, and there's a reason why she's come to work at the club, because she wants to find out something about him. I'm not going to spoil it too much because I don't want to give away like the general premise of like what you will find out at the start of the book anyways. After that night, he ends up getting a rain check on their date, and he finds out that she's actually living in her van close to the club, which is her choice. She doesn't really have much money. She's not really got much to her name. So she's living in this van and she enjoys it. She doesn't have any problem with it. And he finds out that she's living in this van, and he goes, nope, not happening. Picks her up, puts her over his shoulder, and takes her home with him to his billion-dollar mansion. So he is a billionaire, and essentially they become fast friends. They're living together. It's forced proximity, and they are just getting to know each other. They've both got a lot of trauma. Like they both have a lot of trauma that they're sort of working through, and essentially they grow closer. And he is a praise dom. That's who he is. That's his thing. Everyone in every book has their own thing, and she's innocent. She's an innocent young girl, and things happen from there on. I'm not going to tell you too much because I think you know. I think you can put it together. But he is like filthy. He's filthy. Like the thing that says, it says on here at the back, it says he's not just rich, he's filthy rich. It makes sense, doesn't it? So I'm actually really loving this book. And the thing about Sarah Kate's books is I cannot put them down. They are so good. They are so easy. The chapters are so short, and I love that about all of her books. You just go, oh, 3 minutes left in the chapter. I'll finish this chapter. And then, oh no, I'll finish another one. And then it's like 12, it's midnight and you're like, oh my God, I've read half the book. It is so good and I absolutely loved it. So I'm going to an appointment now, and then I'm going to continue on with the readathon. I'm going to put the timer on and I'm just going to sit there and read for a little bit, and then I'll keep you guys updated, of course. Alrighty, bye. Alrighty, my loves, I have just finished my 3rd book of the challenge, The Highest Bidder, and I absolutely loved it. I officially have 15 hours and 48 minutes left on the timer. So I'm close. I'm close. I don't know. I really wanted to have more done today, but it's not happening. But I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to start The Wrong Heart by Jennifer Hartman. I have it on my Kindle and I have the paperback somewhere as well. So I'm going to start that one now, and I hope that I'm really going to love it. This one ended up being a 3.5 star for me. I really loved it. The first 50% was amazing, and then I feel like the second 50% or the 40% after was just like too spice heavy, and I feel like all it was spice, so I feel like that knocked it down a little bit. So it was close to a 4 star. It was really close, but I just feel like it wasn't as good as the first half. So that is The Highest Bidder, and I will let you guys know how I go with The Wrong Heart. Update time. I am almost halfway through. I have just under 13 hours left in the readathon, and I am 80% through The Wrong Heart. This book is crazy. This book is crazy, and I know now why everyone recommends this. It's not talked about enough, and I want to talk about it for a little bit. So I don't want to spoil the general premise of this book, and I feel like if I say too much, I will spoil it. So I'm going to be really, really brief with my explanation on this book. It follows Melody and Parker. Melody has lost her husband on their 5th year wedding anniversary, very traumatically. I'm not going to tell you how. You'll have to read it to figure it out. And she ends up going through the stages of grief, and she just honestly cannot find a reason to live. She can't find a reason to live without him, because he is the light of her life. He is her sunshine, and it's just their relationship is beautiful in itself, and she's dealing with this and her grief. She ends up contacting the man that received her husband's heart. So she doesn't know who this man is. She doesn't know any details about him. She just has his email address. And she ends up contacting him, and he actually reaches out back to her. We could then go forward, and she ends up joining this, I want to call it like a depression group. That's sort of what I want to call it. And it's a group of all these people that talk about the traumatic things in their life. They talk about the things that they live for. And she meets Parker. So Parker is this grumpy, grey character who has had a very traumatic upbringing, and he doesn't really want to go to these groups. His foster sister is the only reason that he attends. He would do anything for her because she did everything for him, and he doesn't really attend. And he meets Melody. They have this really interesting connection between the two of them, and things sort of start developing, and you find out that Parker is actually the man that she is emailing. So the man that received her husband's heart. And that is all I'm telling you. That is all I'm going into. This book is emotional damage to the max. I'm at 80% and I have screamed. I've been tearing up. I can't explain it. This book is unreal. This is an unreal book, and this is a must read. I'm telling you, if you love your emotional damage books and you can deal with this sort of triggering topics, this is a must read. I have not recommended a book more. Parker, as great as he is beautiful. He's a beautiful character, and I love their story. I love the premise, and I really want you guys to read this. I know that this is going to be a 5-star book for me. I have 20% to go. I've had to put it down because the plot twist is insane. The plot twist is insane, and I needed a minute. So I'm an hour away from being halfway through the challenge, and I'm almost finished my 4th book, which is crazy. I think that that's insane, and I don't know, it feels unreal. I feel like I've been reading so much, and this is actually the best way to get me out of the slump that I was in. I felt like I was in this massive slump, and I feel like this challenge has really just brought me out of it. I'm loving this. I'm loving it. I am exhausted. I'm exhausted. I feel like my eyes hurt. I'm like, I don't know how people do this for 24 hours straight. I honestly don't know how people do this. But I am going to keep reading. I'm going to have a shower, jump into bed, and I'm going to keep going. I will see how I go with this. I really want to finish it, but I'm just distraught. Like my feelings are all over the place. I'm scared. I'm so scared. But that is my update for you guys. I will let you guys know more when I wake up tomorrow, and I need a moment. I need some time to recover from this book, honestly. I don't know how I'm going to read any book after this. I think I've screwed myself. I have read so much that I can't pick up a book right now. I can't do it. The Wrong Heart ruined me. It shattered me into a million tiny little pieces. But I'm gonna start Never Lie by Frida McFadden today. I'm going to probably read for a little bit. I've got to go to work, so this challenge is probably gonna drag out, which I'm a bit upset about because I wanted to be done it by now. But anyways, we're just going with it. So I'm gonna start Never Lie by Frida McFadden, and I'll keep you guys updated and let you guys know how I go. I'm probably gonna get the audiobook of it so that I can read a little bit while I'm on my way to work and everything, but I'll keep you guys updated, of course, and I hope that I can get this challenge done by the end of the week. Now that I'm working, I'm scared that it's gonna take me so long to finish this challenge, but I'll keep you guys updated. Hello, my loves. I have 11 hours left. So I have been doing this for 13 hours, and I am at 53% of Never Lie. So I'm at 53%, you can't see that. I read a little bit at work, which was good, in my dinner break, and I am going to go to bed now so I can wake up early for work tomorrow. But I think I'm doing really well. So that's almost my 5th book, and I have 11 hours to go. I really don't think this book is going to take me very long. I will tell you guys more about it tomorrow, and I'll give you like a synopsis of it, but I'm going to go to bed now, and I will keep you guys updated tomorrow. Okay, bye. I just finished Never Lie by Frida McFadden. I have 10 hours and 20 minutes left in my timer, and this is my 5th book. So I didn't really explain it very well to you guys. It's a psychological thriller. Obviously Frida McFadden writes amazing psychological thrillers. This is my 2nd book of hers that I've read, and oh my god, I was obsessed. So this follows this couple who are going to buy this house, and they travel. It's like a remote house. It's not close to anything, and they travel out to it to go and have an open home, to go see a showing, and they get caught in a snowstorm, and they end up having to stay at this house overnight. And then they end up finding out that this house actually belongs to this famous therapist. So this therapist pretty much went missing years ago. She wrote books. She has pretty much just heaps of clients, and she went missing, and they never solved it. They thought it was her boyfriend that took her, and there was never any proof. They could never find the boyfriend, nothing like that. So it was just a big mystery. And they end up staying in this house, and all of these weird things are happening. So they're trapped, they're snowed in, and all of these weird things are happening. And that's all I'm going to tell you. That's all that's on the back, so it's not really a spoiler per se. I'm gonna tell you any more because obviously you will just have to read it and you know that her books are twisty and turny and you can never anticipate the plot twist. I was about 50% through this book and I thought that I knew exactly what was going to happen. I had two theories and one of the theories half right and I was wrong completely about the rest of it, and I was in shock. I could not believe that is what happened, and I ended up rating this 4 stars. The only reason I didn't rate it 5 stars was because usually with her thrillers I feel like I could just like cannot put it down, except with this book I could put it down and I was like okay to put it down and I wasn't in like any stress to continue it and read it. So those are all 5 of my books that I had in my TBR. I thought that it was going to take me all 24 hours to read all 5 of these books, so I'm really impressed with myself that I still have 10 hours to go. And I don't know what I'm going to read next. I'm still wanting to kind of keep on to my physical TBR journey. Like I want to really get down my physical TBR and I feel like this is pushing me to do that. I am going to go and quickly pick a book and then I will let you guys know what I pick. I decided on Burned by Ivy Jackson. I am in the mood for a small town cowboy romance. Like I am itching for it and I've had this on my TBR for so long and it's also not that long and I've heard good things about it. So I'm going to read this one. This is book 1 in the Rescue Ranch series. I have the second book as well and the cover, like it is so cute. So I'm going to read this one. I think I'm going to read it on my Kindle so that I can hop into bed and get some reading done. And I'm going to keep going at the time and I'm really excited. What it says is, taking a job on a ranch and moving all the way to Montana is my chance, a way for me to live somewhere new and start fresh. Again, a change in scenery and some fresh mountain air is exactly what I need. But falling for the grumpy single dad who's also my boss isn't part of the plan. Stop. This is Single Dad Boss. You guys know I love Single Dad. Like it's one of my 2 favorite small town romance tropes. My favorite one's obviously Brother's Best Friend, like the forbidden aspect of that. But this is like a close second. Like I love Single Dad and it's so good in all other books as well. Like in sports romance books. Oh, I'm so excited. Rhett Black is easily the most attractive man I've ever laid eyes on until he opens his mouth. His insufferable attitude gets under my skin and we push each other's buttons every chance we get. When he sees me dancing with another man, his jealousy does something to my insides. Before I know it, we're thrown into a different kind of passion. Now I'm falling fast. But Rhett has been burned before, left behind by so many people in his life. Will he be able to trust that I'm here to stay? This family has given me a safe place to land and I have no intention of ever giving that up. Found family. Oh, we know that a found family is so good in small town romances as well. I'm really excited for this one. I feel like this is going to pick up and I'm just going to be like so invested and so excited. So I will keep you guys updated, of course, and we will see how we go. Oh, I'm so excited for this one. Alrighty, I'm going to jump into bed and keep you guys updated. Hello, my loves. It has been a couple of days and I haven't really read anything, if I'm being completely honest. I have 10 hours exactly left in the challenge and I'm really going to pick it up. Like we're picking it up now because it's the weekend and I'm ready to just like get some reading done. So I told you guys I was going to start Burned and I ended up reading 2 chapters of it. Like I read barely anything of it. So I'm really excited to get back into this one and hopefully read a little bit more. It's really small, so surely we can get another book done in the next couple of hours. I'm gonna sit down and do a bit of reading. I have been like mildly obsessed with watching Gilmore Girls at the moment, again, like for the a millionth time. So that's why I haven't been reading as much, which is okay, like it happens. And like I'm a mood reader, so I'm gonna read when I want to read, and I've just been feeling watching TV lately, so I am gonna get back into it and we're gonna read a little bit. Alrighty guys. He is so grumpy. Oh, I love it. Good morning, my loves. It is Sunday, it is Father's Day, so I'm driving up the coast and I have 8 hours and 51 minutes left of my timer. I know, I feel like this is going forever. Anyways, I make the rules and I am so close to being done, but I'm going to listen to an audiobook. I got to 68% of Burned last night, so I'm almost done that one, but there's no audiobook for it, so I'm going to listen to an audiobook on the way up the coast. The audiobook that I picked, let me get it up. I got it on Audible. It is After the Storm by Laura Pavlov. So it's the last book in the Cottonwood Cove series, and I'm so excited to finish it. So I thought I'm going to listen to that one up the coast and probably coming back down. And then when I finish Burned physically, then I can hopefully finish this one off as well. So that is my plan. I've got 2 on the go now, and I'm going to do some reading when I get up the coast too, because I'm going up early. I'm going to go and have a swim and do a little bit of reading today, just try and relax a little bit. So I'll keep you guys updated. I'm just going to be driving, so I will talk to you guys when I get to my destination. Bye. I am obsessed with this book already. Oh, I've just arrived up the coast and I have 8 hours left on my timer, and I don't know what percent or how many pages or anything because I'm listening to it on audio, but this book is just so good. Oh, it's so good. I'm so excited. It follows Cage and Presley. Now, Cage is a single dad, and Cage and Presley pretty much dated when they were kids. They are like high school sweethearts, you could call it. So it's a second chance romance. Something happened and they broke up and they both went their separate ways. He ended up having a kid with someone else and she got married to this famous music producer. And I don't know what happened yet, but it seems very tense. She's come home because her father has had medical issues and she's come home to take care of him. And they've just reunited and she's just met his daughter, and oh my God, I'm obsessed. I'm going to go in, say hello. Maybe I might do some reading, go for a swim, and I'll let you guys know how I go. Home stretch. I'm officially on the home stretch. So we have 5 hours and 31 minutes to go, and last night I finished Burned by Ivy Jackson. So I really liked this one. However, I only rated it 3 stars because I feel like it wasn't anything like exciting. It was a good small town cowboy romance, but I feel like not much happened, but I did still really enjoy it. I have already told you guys about this one. It's a small town single dad, grumpy sunshine. She comes from San Francisco to come and work on his ranch. She leaves everything behind because she doesn't really feel like there's any place that's like home for her. So she comes and works on the ranch, and pretty much they get to know each other. He stops being a grumpy a-hole and they fall in love. I don't know, like that's pretty much it. It was really cute. The spice was really good in this one, but I do feel like the spice kind of overpowered the plot because there was not much plot. There was not really like any extra things happening besides the fact that it was a small town romance and you have those tropes, but I did still really enjoy it. And I am still reading After the Storm by Laura Pavlov. I'm 57% through this one, and oh my god, as soon as I started listening to this on audio, I knew that I was going to be obsessed with this book, and I am obsessed with it. Like, I am living my best life in this book. I am having the best time. We also had a bit of a one bed situation. You know, one bed situation in here, and I'm loving the connection between these two characters. I'm loving the second chance romance plot. I feel like Laura Pavlov is doing such a good job of this. Like, their story is being told so well, and I am just honestly having the best freaking time. He is so grumpy, but he is not grumpy to her or grumpy to his kid, and he will do anything for his little girl. And you also find out that he actually has a tattoo. He has a tattoo, and if you know what I'm talking about, you know. I love the micro trope of a tattoo for, you know, their first love or something that's signified to them, and they both have it. And I am just I'm eating this up. I'm really hoping that I'm going to finish this today, and then hopefully we'll get this timer down a little bit more. I'm going to listen to some on audio because I'm actually loving the audiobook. I feel like Laura Pavlov's audiobooks are so good, and when they come through on audio, they are just surreal. Like I feel like I'm just immersed in this whole experience. So I'm going to listen to some audiobook while I do a little bit of housework, and then I'm going to get back to you guys. But I'm just, I really need you guys to read the Cottonwood Cove series. Like these characters, this family, like their connection, the found family in it. I could just talk about these books all day, so I'm just going to stop so that we can get some reading done. But we have 5 hours and 30 minutes left. Like we are getting there. We are getting there. We have 3 hours left in this challenge. 3 hours left. Oh my gosh. I finished my book last night. I finished After the Storm last night, and oh my god, I'm still obsessed with that book. I am just in awe of that book. I feel like the conflict and the resolution was really realistic, and I really loved that, and I felt like I was just there the entire time. I was just enthralled. I was rooting for them, and I understood why their conflict happened. I feel like the conflict was so realistic and the resolution was done so well, and I applaud Laura for that. Like I was just having the best time. I was having the best time. So last night when I finished After the Storm, I was thinking, what am I going to read next? What is next for me? And it happened to be after midnight, so I started Wild Eyes. Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This is one of my most anticipated reads for the second half of this year, and I'm honestly so excited. This is a single dad small town romance. That's all I know. That's literally all I know. I've read one chapter, so I'm about, I wouldn't say very far in. Let me tell you, I'm 6% in. I've read one chapter and I started it last night and I was so tired, so I pretty much just went straight to bed. But I'm really excited to read this one, and I'm really excited to keep you guys updated. I only have 3 hours left, so I don't know if I'm going to finish this book in that time, but we'll see how we go. And I'm just so excited. I think this is going to be like the star of my reading vlog. I think it's going to be the star because you guys get to see me read my most anticipated book of the year. So I'm off to work, and then I'm going to hopefully read a little bit of this tonight. If not, we will read it this week, and we will keep on keeping on. We have just under 2 hours to go. So we have an hour and 43 minutes to go, and I am reading Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. I've showed you some videos of me reading, but now I actually have the physical copy with me, and this is how far in I am. So I've read this much, and let me tell you a little bit about it. So this is the second book in the Rose Hill series, and this series follows all single dads. So we've got single dad Weston. He is the brother of Rosie from the first book. So interconnected standalones. It is a small town romance. He's a single dad, and Skylar is a country music star. So she's a country music star, and she has pretty much she's going through a lot. She's realized a lot of things in her life. She was a famous singer from when she was a child. She's been prepped and primed and proper by her parents her entire life. She's always followed their rules, and she's done with it. She needs something different, and she decides to come out to Rose Hill and come and work with Ford from the first book. He has a music production company, so she decides that she wants to go and work with him because she wants to create her own music. She wants to come and be her own person. She wants to learn who she is because she's always been controlled and forced for her entire life, right? So we're following these two. So Skylar ends up showing up to Rose Hill early. She wasn't supposed to show up for another couple of months, and she's pretty much just chucked it, and she's left her entire life and she's run away. She is early and no one was prepared for her, so she ends up having to stay in West's bunkhouse, right on his property, because there's no other areas for her to stay because it's tourist season. It's just not the time, right? and they are so like flirty, and the banter is just top notch. Like Elsie writes such good banter and I am really enjoying it. Like I'm loving the dynamic between these two. I'd say we're like friends to lovers. Like we have this like meet cute moment. I wouldn't say it's like cute when it's in the first chapter, so I'm not really sure if it's a spoiler, but I'm not going to say it anyways. So they meet in like the first chapter or the second chapter, and it's actually like kind of cute. Like I thought it was kind of cute. So I don't think I'm going to finish this book in the 2 hours, considering, I mean, I've gotten 50% and it's only been an hour and 20 minutes. So I might actually finish it. I don't know. I'm hoping I do, so that this can be like a complete vlog and I just like finish the book when the timer goes off. But I feel like that's just not going to happen. Either I'm going to have some extra time or I'm going to have not enough time. But either way, I'm going to finish this book in this vlog, and then it's probably going to be the end of my challenge, even though I thought this challenge was going to be a lot shorter than it was. So this is book 8, which is phenomenal. Like I am so proud of myself for reading this many books in this period of time. I really didn't know what it was going to be, like how many I would get done or anything like that, but I'm really, really proud of myself for getting through 8 books on my physical TBR. I know this is a new edition, but it counts because I have the physical copy, okay? And I couldn't not read this because it just came out. So I'm going to jump back into bed and I'm probably going to read for a little bit. I might finish the timer. I don't know. I'll update you guys tomorrow. And I'll keep doing like a couple of videos and then we can check in tomorrow. Alrighty guys, so I officially have 46 minutes left in my timer and I have this much more to go in Wild Eyes. So I think I can do this. I think I can do this in 46 minutes. So I'm up to page 334 and I'm so excited. I'm really enjoying this book. I don't think it's going to be one of my favorite Elsie Silver books. Like the things that come out of this man's mouth are pretty delicious, but I don't think it's going to beat Heartless. I don't think. And I don't think it's as good as Wild Love in this series, but I am really excited and I am really enjoying it. At the moment, it's probably a solid 4-star read for me, I'm thinking. But I'm going to keep on updating you. I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to smash this much out in the next 46 minutes. I really want to just finish this book in this timer, but we'll see how we go. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do some reading now and I'll let you guys know how I go. Alrighty guys, I just finished Wild Eyes and you won't believe it, I have 3 minutes and 36 seconds to go on my timer. I'm not going to start another book in 3 minutes and 36 seconds. I think I'm just going to leave it at this. But guys, we did amazing. We read 8 books. I did not believe that I would have read so many books in 24 hours, and I'm going to do a little calculator on how many pages that I read in 24 hours, and I'm going to put it up here for you guys. But this is insane. I've read so many good books. I'm giving Wild Eyes 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it was a 5-star read for me. I did really love it, and I loved the dynamic. I feel like these two were just written in the stars. I think that they are just soulmate energy and they were just made for each other. They were perfect for each other and I absolutely loved it. I was giggling, I was kicking my feet. I really felt it. Like I felt all the emotions and I just absolutely loved it. It just wasn't 5 stars for me. It just wasn't 5 stars and that is okay. Because reading is so subjective. And I know that so many people have loved this book and have said that it is now their favorite Elsie Silver book, but for me, it still sits underneath Heartless and Reckless and Wild Love. So I did really enjoy it and I love this book so much. So guys, definitely go and read it. It's out now and it is just such a cute, fluffy read. I was just loving every minute of it. But that is my reading vlog. 24 hours of reading done, which is crazy. And I know that this took me a lot longer than I anticipated it to. but it was still a lot of fun to do it with you guys. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on post notifications. I want you guys to comment what book you are most excited to read out of the books that I read in this selection. I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me on this wild, crazy 24-hour period. And I love you guys so much. Have the bestest day, and get keen for my August reading wrap up, because I'm going to be talking about a lot of these books in more detail as well. Alrighty, bye guys.